Hello and welcome to the Living World of Darkness Changeling venue. Today's scene is at Maxine's apartment. It is a small apartment with little in the ways of comforts because the resident doesn't really stay there all that often. It's a little studio, small kitchenette set where like every major appliance is connected into one kind of Franken monstrosity of uh, utility. Off to the side, a unslept in bed, a small couch, table for two, and inside awaits somebody.
Charles is actually in the kitchenette. Doesn't seem well, given the fact that Maxine probably doesn't stay a whole heck of a lot in the home because, nature of the work and everything like that. It doesn't mean there hasn't been at least a collection of dishes on the times that she has been there. Just not enough time to really wash them or anything like that. So currently, Charles is because I'm assuming there isn't really a dishwasher, or even if there is one, he's rinsing things off before he puts them into the dishwasher. And he's doing very meticulous. He seems a little miffed because once again he tried to command these things to do it on their own, but they wouldn't listen. They're being very stubborn right now. So he's doing it the old-fashioned way, but in order to keep himself occupied without having to think about too much of the fact that he's doing drudgery work the old-fashioned way, as he's singing to himself. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. He puts another plate in there, and he just continues on with his song. And as soon as that one's done, he moves on to the next one in a completely radically different style. I've got the stuff that you want. I've got the thing that you need.
From outside, you can hear Maxine's voice. No, Derek, I'm fine. Just please, I don't want to talk about it. I've had a really long day. Did he lock the door behind him by any chance?
No.
Okay, so he's going to hear somebody fiddling with the door, realizing that it's already unlocked. A moment of hesitation. I could have sworn I fucking locked this thing.
He quiets down to just a gentle humming, but otherwise he's staying focused on the dishes.
The doorknob turns, and then the door is kicked open. What the fuck? She sees Charles, since it is a studio apartment. There's no walls.
Exactly.
The fuck are you doing here?
I had a key. I decided to wait for you, and I decided to do your dishes.
Maxine reaches for something at her hip, which isn't there. I think you should leave. Maxine, by the way, a little setup from her previous scene. She's just now getting home. Is covered in mud. She looks like some beast in a fairy tale with her long ears and mud streaked across her cheeks and clothing, slightly tattered and worse for wear for venturing into the woods on foot before spending quite a bit of time in her affinity, as a jackrabbit.
Yeah.
So she's dirty.
Yeah.
Twigs in her hair.
Yes, I can understand why you would think that, but you don't know that. And I know you're going to want to hear what I have to say. Also, I'm only halfway done with your dishes.
She looks at the dishes and Charles and visibly tries to keep her cool. It's been a long day, Charles. I'm going to go take a shower. It would be best if you are gone when I get out. She goes to her bathroom. She's
Yep.
And she does not hurry through her shower.
Nope. He's taking his time, puts everything in the dishwasher. Doesn't start it because she's doing the washing thing, but he starts boiling some tea.
A while later, the door to her bathroom opens. Steam billows out, and a clean Maxine returns, looks up. I thought I could have sworn I told you to leave.
No, you said it was probably best if I did. And I'm feeling pretty risky about it right now. He says as he puts down, as he pours, as she gets out, he hits the button to start the dishwasher and starts pouring the hot water into the chamomile tea bags. And just sets one down in a place for her to pick up. If she does, doesn't matter. But he's at the moment, he's...
Hailing back to the beginning of their friendship, I'd like to know, gee, how do I say this? Could you tell me, why are you here?
Well, not to apologize, but to explain why I did what I did, and to let you know, and to impress upon you on the fact that we have a mutual understanding and a mutual, well, I'll just use the words that he said, enemy. He takes a sip of the tea.
Oh, enemies. I didn't realize I had made that kind of impression on anybody.
Oh, I don't think you necessarily made the impression on him, but I think you have a very intense amount of feeling towards him in that regard, so...
I don't have the energy to be a plaything, Charles. I mean, we've had our fun, right? We've had laughs. You got to meet my family because it was what it was. What do you want to use me for now?
Well, it says, if we're going to be so direct, as he puts the cab down and he just slides out a chair and he sits down in it to TP his fingers. You're being forced into a situation you don't want to be in by Sir Carol. And Sir Carol, though I may be sworn to him to be his hands and his words and his messenger boy, has slighted me. And of course, he's also taken something from me that I was very much having fun with. As you said, we had our fun, but it was cut way too short. So, I am here because I want to impress upon you, though I may be limited in some respects to what I can and cannot do, that I'm supporting you.
Oh, well, that'd be a first, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
Sorry.
No, no worries. I hear you.
My husband's got it, though. So. She just gives a long, uncomfortable silence, time to brew with the tea.
Takes his own cup again, just takes it.
So we have our petty grievances.
Well,
And
that
what do
depends.
you?
Well, that depends on what you consider to be petty, because especially after last night, I don't think the way you saw it was that petty. After all, you're no common whore, as you stated just quite clearly to me, and I never believed that for 1 second that you were one.
Oh, I'm the uncommon whore, am I?
Well, if that makes you feel better.
You know what would make me feel better, Charles?
Would it be me walking out that door? Because I could. But I don't think you want me to leave just yet.
Do you have a proposal to get me out of this?
I have been thinking. There's nothing that I can do so clear cut right now. This is going to require certain maneuvers. And also, it's going to require me making sure that you understand certain functions and ways that you are unfortunately rather ignorant of. Because while I can do something, you're going to also have to play a part in it, and others are going to have to play a part. This is not going to be something that just the two of us are going to be able to handle. This is going to require, what is it? It takes a village. Is that the right way of phrasing it? No, we're not really raising a child. Sorry, but it's going to require a community.
Ah, so you need my community.
But it starts with you. Because while I could go to anyone else, I could offer that help and everything. This is your issue, your problem, something that we are very much intrinsically bound to. So that is why I am talking to you, first and foremost, before I talk to anyone else.
You know, Charles, since we started our little game, I have been told by so many people, watch out. He'll use you. Watch out. He's not really your friend. Watch out. He's got bad intentions. And all I could think was, yeah, but we're just playing. It's just a game. He knows it's bullshit. I know it's bullshit. One of us is going to flinch before it goes too far. And then you may not have struck me, but you knocked me down pretty fucking hard.
There's a little bit too much pleasure in that sigh.
We said friends a lot. And you say words mean things, but I think words don't mean enough to you.
Well, they mean a great deal. Just sometimes they need a little more enforcement.
Ah. So many bargains. And I just find myself working my fingers to the bone to meet my end of these bargains. And I find that the others whom have tangled themselves up with me have very little to lose in these things. Oh, what is it to a she if he doesn't garner the favor of a lowly puka? What is it to you if you never have to help your your fellow changeling? Because in the end, it's no skin off your nose if one of us dies. It's no skin off your nose if my father starves to death or my family loses their home. All the onus is placed upon us. And she stands up and just like gives that, I can't look at you right now, and goes to her little kitchenette and just starts rummaging around, pulling random shit out of shelves, peanut butter, and bread, and what the fuck is this? Quinoa. No. I don't want that.
Amber asked me to deliver you a salad. It's in the fridge. There's berries and stuff in it.
More dalliances, more friends, more dishonored hearts. Just...
If it makes you feel any better, she was legitimately concerned about your well-being.
Because she's a good person.
You're right. She is a good person.
Maxine grabs a large dinner plate from her cupboard and sets it down very forcefully on her countertop.
The game we're playing is not the game of good people. It's not the game of people. On our car ride, that car ride down, you talked about growing up without knowing all of who you were, what you were, until you realized who you were. But you still have a person inside you. I'm just an entity trapped in a fleshy shell that'll age and die and wither. I am not like you. I'm not like any of you. And I'll never be. But I understand how their games work. Because I'm just like them. You want a bargain? You want everything in this society is based on promises, on words, on contracts, on oaths. Words bind and words break. And we suffer the consequences of all those things. You have to be sharper than the sharp. Harder than the hardest. More assured of yourself than anyone else. And be the most shrewd on everything you word and say. Because that's the only way you will be able to function in that level of society. Because every single one of you are poisoned by the altruism of people. And that's why you all suffer when these things come around. So, you want my help. You need my help because I understand this game better than any one of you and your friends. But it's going to require something, but not a one-sided bargain, not something in which I lord over you, no, because we are past that point.
Maxine, just like you can see, like as she talks, she's getting angrier and angrier. She's literally at this point shaking with rage. and like has lifted the plate up like over.
Yeah.
So continue on.
Yep. So let's even the playing field between you and I.
She slams the plate down on the counter and it shatters, not into dust, but into pieces. It's not a fucking game. These are our lives. These, maybe because you have this ephemeral, temporary existence. The whole novelty of it is just this thing that passes you by on a whim. And she grabs a shard and she holds it in her hand as she makes her point, accentuating how angry she is. This isn't a game. You want stuff from me. You need to understand. I am not a toy. I am not a tool. I have feelings. I have dreams beyond mere altruism. I am. And she's just like grasping the shard so hard her hand starts to bleed. And she steps towards Charles with this shard of plate wounding her. You want to know?
Yeah, he's not moving, by the way. He is staying very placid.
You want an oath? She holds out the shard of plate, and it protrudes a bit beyond her hand because it was a large dinner plate. I'll give you an oath. Grab this. It's a blade.
His eyes light up, and there's a large smile. It almost seems to stretch past the normal confines of his face, and you can see every single tooth all sharp. There's no molars. They're all razor sharp and crystalline.
Quick out of character question because I don't remember. Does Maxine know he knows naming?
I don't think so.
Okay. So she just says, "This is a blade," and holds it out to him.
And this is my hand to clasp. And he, to sort of like in his own way to make sure he understands exactly what's happening here. And he grabs the blade and he squeezes tight, and what the blood that comes, it takes a little bit of pressure simply because he has to break past that thin marble shell of his skin, and gold starts to drip. Watery and thick like blood.
Maxine
as it mingles together.
Makes very intense eye contact. Blood for blood. Bone for bone.
Life for life. Until none walk the earth save we alone.
I need to find that version. Hold on. Oh, I should have pasted it. Let's see. Do you have it open?
Yep.
Can you copy and paste?
Yep.
Let's do this
I can read it out. So here. So starting from the top.
Okay.
Let's assume everyone watching that we're saying this simultaneously.
Yeah. Okay.
Blood for blood, bone for bone, life for life, until none walk the earth save we alone.
Until none walk the earth save we alone.
I place my life into your hands.
I place my life into your hands.
My blood in your veins, my bones as your bones.
My blood in your veins, my bones as your bones.
And he reaches an arm around her and he pulls her in very gently, like not forcing her, but as part of the thing is there's the blade between them and they're pressed person to person. Hold me well as I hold you, and I will lend you my strength.
Hold me well as I hold you. And she puts her arm around him. And I will lend you my strength.
Break your bond, and may we both perish.
Break your bond, and may we both perish.
I swear to you friendship by this oath of clasped hands and shared hearts.
I swear to you friendship by this oath of clasped hands and shared hearts.
The glamour is expended on both of our parts. The dreaming here is, and you can almost feel, in some ways, almost like thorns etching in these words, these promises, deep into their souls, their essence, the both of them being bound by these words, by this promise, wrapped around the hands that bleed and around their very hearts and selves. There we go. Your first step, he says, and he runs the hand gently through her hair. Your first step to evening the playing field.
She looks at her wounded hand and the shard of plate. Do you still have my ring?
Pulls it up.
She holds out her hand for it, not to be put on, but to be handed.
But yeah, he places it in her hand.
She places the ring. She turns the pointed end of the plate up and drops the ring over the top of it. And she holds it between them for further reassurance. I want your word that you are not going to ever hurt me like this again. Swear it to me. Because if you break this oath we've just made, I will still the blood in your veins. I will stall the air in your lungs for centuries. She's like still shaking with anger. This is my promise I make to you. And if I should do the same, if I should break our oath, you too will have your shot at me.
What I will do if you break my oath is when I speak, you shall dance. What I write as your narrative will become your fate. Your doom, your gloom, your life, your despair is mine to narrate until I see fit that the narrative should end.
Let me roll my freaking crap here. Let's see. Contract. And he's Fae, so the total of 5 dice. Is that with that as a bunk? What would you say the difficulty is?
Well, since it's not ST, the max we can do is a -2, maybe a -3 if most. But I think we have an object that we use part of an oath.
Mm-hmm.
We have that ring that has a connection. We've both sworn by this. I think we can get away with saying this probably is a -3.
Okay. And it's a success.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Wait. So wait, what would the difficulty be?
It would have been, let's see, it's 8, usually -3, 5. So difficulty 5.
Okay. So wow, that's a lot of successes then. 3 successes.
3 successes.
So The contract is sealed at level 3, which means should we break our oaths, the other will be instantly aware because of Liar Spell. And you'll be able to cast a cantrip on them from where you are. Maxine.
And of course, we have a lot of poetics with it as well. So.
She hands the ring back to Charles and says, open your hand.
Opens it.
This is my gift to you, my friend. And she places gently the blade that they've used to seal this oath. And she holds out her ring finger.
And this is my gift to you, as he places the ring on her hand. My friend.
May they serve as symbols of our very, very close, important to us, and renewed friendship.
That sounds absolutely wonderful, Biffle.
So
that smile just remains far too wide. I think that's a good place to end this scene.
Yes. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we'll see you next time.